make a sculpture here and talking about geometry and math and all sort of esoteric jibber-jab. Basically, like the sacred geometry stuff, as far as I can tell, they all start with something similar to like what the Kabbalists are into. That there's a point at the beginning. There's a beginning point. Maybe there's a lot of beginning points, I don't know. But there's a point where there's a singularity. Or actually, this says, sorry, I'm skipping a step. There's a nothing. There's stages of nothing. Emptiness, beyond emptiness, a void. There's like levels of nothing, you know. There's a word for it. It's like, oh God, what is it? Ein Sof Fair or something I can't remember right now, but it's there. Or it's not there. That's the thing. So it becomes a singularity at some point. It's just, there's some varying levels. It's represented in the tarot by the aces. These sort of ideas of elements, pre anything, I guess. It's the basic idea of fire, the basic idea of water, air, and earth. It's spirit, though. It's like a vibration, you know. It's nothing of physical substance. And then it, he, it, she divides itself. Starts out, there's a center point. There's up, down, left, right, backwards and forward. And then you trace those extremities, which have no such thing as length yet. I mean, it doesn't mean anything because there's nothing in relation to it. So that makes the octahedron, which is one of the Platonic solids. But the octahedron, sorry, when you trace the outside lines from an angle, it's also the it makes a hexagon, a hexagram. And today, what I'm making is based off of the hexagon. Which is 6 sides. It's come up a lot lately. It started, I had made a crystalline form, a sort of crystal object with mirrors, represented with mirrors, and I had made it, and then I had posted something about drawing the Princess of Cups card, and Jesse Bransford, I kind of owe him for asking about what I thought that those crystal-looking things in her cape were, those hexagrams, and I realized later that day when I was at the studio that the piece that I had just made that week looked a lot like those same crystals. So, anyways, I owe it to him for pointing that out. That was very cool because now I'm continuing with that for a lot of reasons. It's been a week where the hexagram has come up in a lot of different ways. I went to this study group last night and they were talking about the hexagram being formed, something to do with Saturn over the North Pole, this, that. I mean, you know, anyways, whatever it is, it's come up a lot. And I started doing the hexagram ritual regularly this last week as well. It's just kept coming up, coincidence. So, you know, me being the type of person that I am, I like the coincidence. Whether it means anything or doesn't mean anything, I'm making it mean something. I'm giving it significance if there isn't some bigger significance outside of myself. And so people maybe wonder, like, what does the hexagram mean? You know, what does that mean? What does the number six mean? Is another question. And I think basically, mostly people have given it like attribution. They attribute certain things to it. I think, first of all, what I think of is usually the tarot, because I study the tarot so often, and I imagine it refers to Tipperite. And there's also princes, which is the princes are also represented by the air, which doesn't necessarily relate to crystals, but the princess, specifically the Princess of Cups, does, because she's the combination of water and earth. So water and earth creates the crystals in nature. Mathematics is a concept. The drawings that you make using mathematics aren't even. They might be, it may exist perfectly in nature somewhere. But for the most part, when you see it, it's not perfect as perfect as it is when you do it with math. Math is a spiritual concept, a perfection. But the universe makes itself complicated. Makes itself more complicated than it grows. Some people say it grows towards disorder or chaos. I'm into that line of thinking. I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much to me, necessarily. I'm going to still keep doing this and try to keep a good attitude anyway. Now, using the number 6, invoking the number 6, what does that mean? What does it really mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that this any sort of sacred geometry being used is going to do anything more than your basic sigil will, in terms of having any kind of effect. In terms of a practice of magic, it's like, what do you do? Learning a sacred geometry is cool in and of itself. Trust me. I've never gone through and learned all the equations perfectly. The what is it? Fibonacci sequence. I mean, I kind of remember some of it, like 1, 1, 2, 3, 8, 13. The sequences, and then the golden ratio. I know some of the basic stuff about it, but I don't really know. I never wasn't that good at math. I mean, I was good at math, but I didn't take it, seriously in school. I didn't go to class because I wanted to be an artist. But, learning it is pretty cool in and of itself. I think learning anything, especially when you get up into your ripe old 30s like me, it's cool for old dogs to learn new tricks. Is what I'm getting at. But really, I practice some magic, some ritual. I've gone to the OTO. I've never gone through the initiation yet. I might still. But I read a lot and I practice. And it's really all about effects. They'll tell you that it's about what works. That's how they try to base it, off of what works. They do different things. They experiment. But from my experience, nothing really has as much effect on my life, and however way that I gauge whether or not something's working has as much effect on my life as just making art, making these objects, doing stuff, getting involved, tripping out, listening to the music that I've made here, before I start making. And I'm making something that relates to geometry, and something sacred, and something symbolic. And it's also it's like crystal, something crystalizing is a good metaphor for what seems to be happening when you make something. Maybe it's just sitting still and focusing or using some other part of your brain, because there's something obviously about geometry that goes beyond Largely it's neurological.
There's something about, obviously,
our
about
brains are
geometry that
connecting
goes
to
beyond something that is outside of us and in nature.
Largely it's neurological.
As well as taking it to
our
maybe
brains
another
are
level that is
connecting
totally
to
within our
something
mind.
that is outside of us
In the
and in
subconscious.
nature. In the
As well
universal
as taking it
to maybe another level that is totally within our mind. In the subconscious. In the universal subconscious, apparently. You know? These crazy patterns that we see that we don't necessarily see in nature, though they may exist. When we do things like take hallucinogenic drugs, is that something specifically in the drugs? Something specifically in the drugs by showing you these crazy patterns, or is that just something that's in our brain? Just something that's in our... I don't know, but that's an interesting point. About the sacred geometries. How to make a hexagram-like crystal thing using some blue foam, some mirror, some knives, and some glue, and some paint. By Josh Kil. But it's cool, you know? Just trip out. Feel the raw sexuality. I'm not a self-help type of person. I can give you some advice if you want some advice. But I don't ever really care to be a self-help guru. I like going to study groups and things like that. You know, I like learning stuff, discussing these things. I'm not that much into the new agey stuff. I am all about doing, though, you know? I like action. I like making. Scheiße. Alright. Coming together. I mean, I do think everyone should meditate and eat well and make some sort of art or get in some sort of repetitive activity for your brain. That's some self-help for you. Don't get married. That's my other advice. You know, some self-help, some practical self-help. Don't get married. I'm just kidding. I'm sure marriage can be a very beautiful thing. Goddamn beautiful. Bless me, Father. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Artwork. I'm making my artwork for me. You know what I'm saying? It's working for me. $5 an hour. You know, this is kind of ridiculous. I'm just thinking, I remember seeing there was a video of Pablo Picasso painting that I saw while I was going to SVA. It was in the art, you know, in the library, video library. Back when they used to, they might still, I don't know how it goes now, but used to have videotapes. And I thought, wow, what a megalomaniac. Who gives a shit? Nobody wants to see how you make your damn art. You think you're so special? So I'm saying because now I'm making my video of me making art. And I'm looking at myself and checking. It's hot out. I mean, I do. Okay, so I like showing off my tattoos. All right, so okay, I gotta get naked sometimes. But it's really fucking hot. This is that day that was hot. Remember, while you're watching this video, you're like, it's barely summer. No, this is that one really hot day. And I biked here, you know, because I bike everywhere. Sacred geometry of my 2 bike wheels. That's what I'm talking about. Something about nature, something about reality. I don't know. I don't know if that's the point. But working on it and trying is good. Working on anything. Don't take yourself too seriously. Learn to love your brother. See, actually, I'm full of self-help. I'm a self-help guru. Woohoo! Retarded. But this is art. Art is supposed to be retarded. Retarded. Damn, I make these goddamn long videos. God bless. God bless everyone. God bless.